Okay, what time is it, boys? Okay, we shall begin. All right, we're holding Vayinyan is Gimel. Right? So he said like this, basically. Even though our president is not on yet. He said, everybody has a maamer, yeah? Please give him. So Isha says Tazreea v'yolda zocher. He brought the pirish of the philosophers that really it's not her role. It's because she allows, as it were, the maila of the zocher that comes after her, and therefore is Ilah is above and dominates, and that's why zocher. But the Rebbe says, in the end, the conclusion is the Rebbe explains that even though there's a mile in that pirish, because what that pirish is bringing out, but Ruchnis is the virtue of a sarusa de la'ila, of a relationship with Hashem that God dictates. It comes from above. And nonetheless, the Pasuk is saying, no, that Yolda Zochar, the permanent and real connection implied by Zochar, is Dafke when Isha is Tazreea, when it's Arusa de Sata. When the connection and the relationship is not as a result of living off inspiration, but creating it from below. It's more limited, but it's yours and permanent. Now, Ois Beis added that Pashas Tazreea we always read, many years at any rate, in Chedesh Nisan. Now, the whole Chedesh Nisan is Arusa de Leila. And that's also why the Alter Rebbe brings first the Pirush of the philosophers that bring out the Maila of Arusa de Leila. This is a Pirush in Torah, because that's consistent with the month of Nisan, where Pashas Tazreea is most often read. The Maskona is that no, that the birth is because of Zera, of the Zohar, is because of the Isha. That's the Chiddush of post-Matan Torah. That post-Matan Torah, the Maila of Nisan, even then we emphasize this Arusa de L'Tata. So this Maimer is said in Chedesh Nisan, it talks about the Maila of Arusa de Leila, but at the end of the day, even Chedesh Nisan itself says, post-Matan Torah, that there's the Maila, the enduring virtue, which is going to explain further at length, is our Avodah. There's more detail to that. And it's the Iker Maila. Okay, now let's continue. That's a general outline. That's Negir. For us to go further, clear? Yeah? Now is Gimel, Vinyanhu. We're going to learn it together, friends. Sorry. What's the Maila when the relationship with Hashem is coming from above? The Maila is if Hashem is revealing himself to us and it starts with him, then we're connecting to a level that we would never reach through our own avodah. What is that in more detail? And so the question is, well, why is God doing this? Why is he having a relationship with us? We haven't earned anything. So where does it come from? It comes from a pure place of absolute love and chesed that's infinite and from there, our avodah is irrespective. Deserve, don't deserve. That's a very high level, unconditional love. So where's this relationship coming from, this Hamshacha? Because he desires chesed. Chesed means unearned. He wants to bestow his benevolence upon us, and it's starting with him, and that is infinite. It's infinite because you've done nothing to deserve this. There's no reason for it. So it's purely his. So there's no boundaries to it. It's a boundless love. Clear? That's the Maila Visarusa de Leila. Hashem, in simple words, shows his unconditional love for us, irrespective of our worthiness or otherwise. Furthermore, the Medrash asks, with who did God consult before creation? It could be that, to look this up, but it could be that the Medrash is on the pasuk, Nas Adam, let us make. So he's consulting with somebody. Who's the us? So Rashi brings he consulted or involved at least the malachim, that they shouldn't be jealous. It could be, at any rate, the Pirush of Medrash is, who's the we? It's Nishmesim Shel Tzadikim, the souls of the righteous. Who's that? Every Yid. Amekol Tzadikim. So again, Hashem consults with Neshamas Yisrael before creation. What does that mean? So what is the cause behind this showing this great love? The cause behind that is mitzad she'ol b'machshava, there arose in his thought, and he adds in brackets, machshava atzmis, not a thought that relates to others or otherness, an essential thought within self. There's no consideration of anything else because there isn't anything else, not even conceptually. It's a machshava atzmis. That precedes, I'm going to bestow kindness. Why? Please tell me. Why is the level of machshava atzmis obviously higher than the gilu, the level of chafetz chesed? Huh? Why is this essential thought, he says now, higher than the revelation of his desire to bestow benevolence, good, love, etc.? Why is it higher? Maybe chafetz chesed is higher. And then comes the machshava atzmis of the neshamas Yisrael, b'min imlach. Because chafetz chesed, bestowing kindness, bestowing, so you're already saying there's something else. That's already a gilui. As soon as you say the word chesed and bestow, you're implying a recipient and a whole otherness. Machshava atzmis is no other, so that precedes the chafetz chesed. We're clear. Chafetz chesed already implies, conceptually, potentially at least, that there's going to be an other to receive his love and kindness. But before that is the machshava atzmis within himself, where there is no other. So who's there? Who's there in machshava atzmis? Neshamas, because they are not other. Because they're a chelik alakam, yimal mamash. So what arose in his thought? Shasidin Yisrael lekaim Torah mitzvahs, that the Yidden will be mekaim Torah mitzvahs velasisly. So what's he consulting with? This is the Pashup Pshat in the Medrash. He's consulting with neshamas and considering that they're going to keep Torah mitzvahs and they're going to make this world a dwelling place for him. Moving. So if he's considering neshamas Yisrael higher than an essential level, what are they doing there? The answer is because they're there. The important point is not just neshamas are rooted higher than this level of I want to bestow good on somebody else, on something else, but their avodah is higher. The avodah of a yid touches the Eibishter at a higher place than absolute love, unconditional love. Because that's what God considers is the avodah of Yidden. Now, why does the avodah of Yidden touch the Eibishter so deeply? Because they're rooted in him. That's higher. That is the essential cause of creation. In other words, the cause of creation is God himself. And in the Eibishter himself, who's there? Neshamas Yisrael. And their avodah. That is what kicks everything off. And then going to send them down here, going to bestow kindness and love, unconditional love, and everything else will follow. Let's continue. And through his unconditional love, through Shagili the Chavitz Chesed, this Adam, since what comes first? Avedis Adam, and therefore I'll bestow upon him my love. The love is a different love. the love that comes as a result of our avodah, which is really the essential cause behind it all. So when we do that avodah, love itself is transformed. The chafetz chesed, and this is God's just absolute decision to bestow love, because He wants to bestow love, is transformed as a result of our avodah v'yid, because what really started the chafetz chesed is b'mi nimlach nishmersem shel tzadikim, the avodah. It's going to explain this. In this, I want to bestow love as a result of avodah v'yid. What's drawn into God's chesed and love is this machshava atzmis. We are one. This essential oneness that is higher than bestowal, higher than revelation. It's the level where we are one. Are these words floating in the air? No, good. So on the map, you have to draw it, like what's the primary. It starts with Abish. Let's just sit back for a minute. I'm a Gil student, is sitting here, the Middah Talmud, the Panyavicha Talmud, who comes with a fresh mind. It doesn't come with, the beauty of this guy is no preconceived notions. He doesn't delude himself, he understands anything, because he doesn't. He never learned anything. He never learned this. He's coming the first time to the shir. Open, I just explained to me. This whole creation business, I have a simple question. Does God need this? Clearly not. Is there anything in creation, in theory, I'm rephrasing the question, that can contribute to the Eibishter? Obviously not. That's kfira, heresy, to think that it could be. So obviously, so why this whole thing? This is God has allowed us. Siddur has taken us here to this level to understand the seichel. We couldn't say these words if Siddur wouldn't say it. We wouldn't know it. It would be unknowable. So obviously, the whole beginning of creation starts with God, not something else. Me, His decision. It all starts within Himself. There's nothing else, nothing that's pulling this. This is a good idea. I'm going to do it. There's no good ideas. It's all His decision with Himself. So the primary source is we probe, as it were, is you. And who's there? Neshamas Yisrael. That too is a decision. Words fail us here, but they're not a creation. Yisrael Olu Machshava is a decision. It's a part of Himself, within Himself. Words fail. Moishe and Atzmos, that's all rooted in the essence. It all starts really, it's Him. It's Him. The Avodah V'Yid, at the end of the day, is really a piece of Him that has come down to a goof that is, it's really in the essence Him. It's all Him. And this was his decision. No reason for it, but the decision is at a place where the reason doesn't exist, and it's all an expression of Him. Neshamas Yisrael and their avodah. After that comes Ishtalshelis and Chafetz Chesed and a whole system, a divine system. To say that God created because He's a kind, benevolent God who wants to bestow goodness, that's making all kinds of assumptions. There's already a creation, and goodness is a virtue, and He's bestowing it. Whoa, that's way into the system. It's a gilui. A gilui means already otherness. It's already, system is already in place. Creation is already there in essence. What's behind this whole Chafetz Chesed is this atzmis dike, you and the shamas, we're one, and you're avodah. And we're all one. What's the end going to be? The Eden and the Eibishter one inseparably. And it all starts that way. Because if He wants that to be, the tachten and the guf and the whole, Ishtalshel should be imbued with that and the whole, every aspect of creation. It all starts with God and His decision within Himself, for Him, in Him. Again, not for gain, just a decision that is completely beyond rationale, but it's Him. God is really seeking Himself, as it were, and decided to seek Himself in the shamas. What's famous here, because what a neshama is, it straddles. On the one hand, it is an entity, but it's chelik lakami mamash. There's chelik level, there's mimal level, there's a mamash. There was 3 levels. The mamash level is It's a huge chiddush of Kabbalah and Chassidus, that the neshama is not a creation. I told you, that's the most radical chiddush of Chassidus. Without Chassidus, Jews like everybody else. We chose to receive the Torah, they didn't. That's it. We offered to everybody. That's who became the chosen people. There's no difference, in essence. The relationship now, because we decided. But any non-Jew can become Jewish, and the Rambam become Yiskadosh Kodesh Kadosh. And God offered to everybody. They didn't want. We accepted it. This whole thing in the Shom is that's the biggest chiddush of Chassidus. And that was a big kind of protest to that. All kinds of things, but that was, I told you many times, I repeated again, there was an article in the Jewish press, and maybe now that I could find it again because more sophisticated computers, you couldn't find it for me. I called up the head office. Misnagdi Shirov wrote a big article that we have been, what's the word he used, hijacked by Chassidim. It's time to reclaim authentic Judaism. It's just funny to see how the Misnagdish world, it's funny, is every passing day is now adopting another, Chassidus thing that they fought against. Big beards and all that, well, a million things. The funniest thing I just noticed lately was at a wedding. First came the upturned hats. It's a while already. The upturned hats. But at a wedding, not Chabad, but Chassidim, they dance. Goes back a long time already. That was from Baal Shem Tov, like this. The two sides, the holding shoulders. And so I see lately, that was uniquely a Chassidish thing. See, lately in the Misnagdish weddings, they're doing it also. Pasha looks funny. Don't know how to do it. There's a way to dance it. It goes with the Streimbel, with the whole, that's all right. You stomp your feet and you come together. It's funny that everything is being adopted. Pictures, a huge war now as a kid growing up. Pictures, pictures everywhere, a million times the same face looking at it. It's humorous. But he wrote a serious article. He wrote a serious article being hijacked by Chassidim, and he listed the things. The Shamus is on the thing. It's apikursis. Apikursis. Hashgacha Pratis is kfirah. To say that and everything, it's only the highest. Because the Rambam, there's many levels. Hashgacha Pratis is only on the highest level, tzaddikim. The rest, the Rambam says, the Rasha is abandoned to the whims of nature. So Rambam made in the Vuchim. And other big things are going to mikvahs, but it's stupidity, yatame, and even kippers in Yavtshuva, that's one thing. A whole lot of things. This whole simcha business. It's Allah, Mashiach comes. It's forbidden to fill your mouth with mirth till Mashiach comes. Tanzen, springt. They're imitating, everybody's imitating them. It's a long list, and all legitimate. And I'd love to get it because they're all doing it and claiming we always did. That is the best part. We always did. Here's a guy that says the truth. It fell on deaf ears, It fell on deaf ears because it's too late, the cow has left the barn. So this is infiltrating in every way. But he's like, hey guys, what happened to us? Some big things he said there. The whole thing of Rebbe, the whole, adultation. And now what are the Rosh Yeshivas doing? It's giving brachas and lining up to give. It's unbelievable. In a few years, that whole thing turned around and becomes so distasteful and ludicrous. But that's what it is. The upshot is Chassidus is infiltrated. You went to get a bracha from Rosh Yeshiva, you out of your mind. Maybe should use brachas. Rosh Yeshiva went for a kasha to Tosfos. And that they're assuming the role of becoming Rebbes. Hello, you know what you are. What are you doing? The whole thing is anyway, sorry, that's not our topic. How do we get to this? Fight it. Amir Talmud's getting an education here. If he's intelligent, he knows this all along. Those that are a little bit honest know this. It's nothing new. Which is why there's a deep, quiet revolution going on. In the Chassidish world, even in the Misnagdish world. Learning Chassidus and connecting, going to the oil. And it's still, but it's happening. Okay, weiter. So while you're there, but it's the place, yeah. You want the line? While you're there, Gilui, the Chofetz Chesed, yeah. So, right. So we just finished saying that the whole origin of the whole creation is Eden. Rooted in Atmos and the Eibishter entertaining, as it were, the Tainug is going to have from the Avodah of Eden. And therefore, this I didn't explain. Therefore, it has to begin with Chafetz Chesed. Why? We haven't done anything yet, so it's going to be just bestowal of unconditional love to start the whole process because we haven't elicited anything. But that whole unconditional love is because he's entertaining the avodah we are going to give. And why? Because we're rooted in his essence. They're higher than the whole process itself. But the practicality of it's going to be Chafetz Chesed. The first act of creation is going to be just unconditional bestowal of love because we haven't emerged yet. We haven't done anything yet. This is all rooted in essence to be played out later when Yidden are born after Matan Torah, etc. By Yitzias Mitzrayim, Matan Torah. So the practicality is going to be all God's benevolence doing. But what started all of that is the avodah that Tavayid, Moshe Shenatzmus. So therefore, when the avodah of Yid happens, you and I are born and doing our avodah, Yitzias Mitzrayim, Matan Torah, and Yid never since. The Chafetz Chesed that started the whole process is transformed because this is what it was all for, was for your avodah. You brought this out in me. My unconditional love is not so much a statement about me and my love, but you. And you're one with me, they're inseparably from me. Let's see inside. So this that Chodesh Nisan, very subtle point I see coming here. Altogether is God's doing. It's like a Chafetz Chesed, right? It's all miracles. God comes down, takes us out. You don't have choice in your birth, it happens to you. And it's all miracles. This in the Chodesh Nisan, in Isha ki Tazreea v'yolda zocha. We read Isha ki Tazreea, which we did at least Shabbos Mincha, yeah? The Gosha, which brings out the mighty vessel of the Latata, who it's a contradiction. Keep to the theme. Chodesh Nisan is Hamshachim Elamayla. Then Tazreea should never be read in Pashas in Chodesh Nisan, because Isha ki Tazreea is Avodah of Lamata. Why is it in many years it's read, or at least on Shabbos? We read Pashas Tazreea in Chodesh Nisan, and Pashas Tazreea is all the mile of what? Of our Avodah. Now we have the answer. Who? Why is this whole? It all starts off with you're born and miracles and creation and Gila in Sof Chafetz Chesed. It's when is his love truly expressed and justified in the whole Chafetz Chesed is when Yid does avodah, which is what machshava atzmis that precedes the Gila ki Chafetz Chesed. Clear? Hence we read Pashas Tazreea in Chodesh Nisan. So overtly Chafetz Chesed is we're not around. This whole thing is God's benevolence and kindness, loving, kind, wonderful Creator. And it's all Him. We're not in the picture. Bema says we are. What causes that? Is because the tainug He has from Eden. That's what started this whole thing. And his tainug from Eden is rooted higher than the greatest Gilui revelation. It's atzmizdik. It's machshava atzmit. It's all within self. So when we do the avodah, then the highest revelations now become transformed, suffused with why these revelations? Not because they're my virtues, but because you touched me. Not because Eid itself and Chesed is myridic revelations. They're only there because you touched me. We state that As a result of the avodah v'yid, the high atzilus and beyond, we're talking Chavetz Chesed, pure oiritz, the highest revelations. What comes out is, you know why I revealed this? Well, the whole virtue, it's nothing, really. It's because you touched me. Now there's something. There, my chesed, my shtalshalas, everything. It's all virtuous. It's all elikus, really, truly godly, essentially godly, because you touched me. Because of your avodah. That's what validates everything I've done. Otherwise, meaningless. The Eibishter Atzma is beyond everything. Chavetz Chesed, infinite kindness, benevolence. For mortal kings, that's a virtue. For the Eibishter, what is that? It becomes everything from our avodah. Because you touch me, and I entertained that, I felt that, I know that, and therefore this whole creation. Then the creation becomes wonderful, and the Atzilus itself, and the whole thing becomes virtuous. It's all for the Yid. This is not a perfect moshel, but I think give a moshel to explain this. There's a nice guy. You have such a person, a nice guy, like a truly nice guy. Yeah, there we go. Are you running out? I'm going to talk about you. Yeah. It's an important point, this moshel. Wait. So I'll wait for you. Yeah, it's a moshel that will help us understand. Quick, so coffee break. Run. Come back, close the door, Moishe, with after David, yeah? The Chavetz Chesed, Resut de Le'ela, is really because of Resut de Le'tata, that the Eibishter sees that you didn't gonna
bring the
touch
highest
it.
point is dafka through avodah.
It's all, everything God does is only for the Yid, bottom line. The greatest revelations from above that start the whole process, behind the scenes is because how you touch me. At the essential level, it's all our avodah. It's the Yid and his avodah. The Susa de la Tata precedes this Susa de la Ela. Not actually, but God entertaining it. This is a little bit consistent with what we learned in the previous Maimorim, that the Keich HaGvul, okay, we won't go into it now, but the square Tzimtzum are higher than the Igul HaGadol.
Interesting to mention, interesting that he does, the Rebbe doesn't bring a footnote to Mayim Rabim of Lamed Ches.
That came later. The Mugga de Gemayim came later. But I could still send you to it, not Mugga. I don't even know.
Why? It was, when was it Mugga?
I don't know what it looks like, but Mugga. Okay, so here's a marshal that it's not perfect.
This Mugga was Mem Tes, and I think that one was Mem Ches.
Was it earlier?
I think so. I'm not sure, but I think so.
Look it up. Akaponim, so a nice guy. He's just naturally a nice person. Chesed guy. Bachelor, alone. When he finds his soulmate, and a soulmate means that we're one, like Yidden and the Eibishter, then the kindness, the love that he gives to her is a completely different niceness that he's naturally exhibiting to everybody else. You appreciate that. The probing a little bit deeper, because this is a paradox, because his soulmate, that's him. So paradoxically, till now he was nice to others. Now when he meets his soulmate, this is touching him. He's now complete at an essential level. So the love that he's giving her, paradoxically, is really to self. So therefore it's an essential love. To rephrase that, you can't love somebody else like you love yourself, unless that person is you. So before he met his wife, his love was giluyim. I mean, it's not like he loves himself. It can't be. In behavior, a deeper level than the Neshama are all rooted. So a deeper level, all Jews are soulmates. That's a deeper level. But just another basic picture. The way he loves other people, it cannot be the way he loves himself. There are others. But his soulmate, his love for her is an essential love that's beyond the word love, even falls short. Why? Because she's him. They're one. That transforms his love. The love that he shows her is a completely different level that he could show to a friend, anybody else. She's his soulmate. This is atzmis dika'ava. That's what he's saying here. That the Chavetz Chesed that started creation, once Yidden's avodah kikin, God's soulmate, then that Chavetz Chesed is transformed. That love is transformed. Before Yidden, like his love is because he's a nice person. God's a nice God. He expresses love. Decided to be a nice God. He expresses love. But when the Yidden come along to avodah, it's not somebody else, something else. Giving Gilui means something else, somebody else. There's not Gilui. This is me. This is my soulmate. That love is a completely different love. Your love that you share with your wife is not the love you could possibly share with everybody else. Or your children by extension. It's all soulmates. We probe deeper every Yid is a soulmate, so there's an element of that rule. But that's, very, very deep. But just the manifestation, it's a different love. Why could she? This is you. This is atzmis dika love. This is the love that can't be any other way. It's a fairly accurate moshel because we are soulmates with Hashem. And the moshel actually it continues because what is husband and wife? They're one shemayim, separate and find each other. This is the good here. Mushish and atzmos, neshama Yisrael. Then send down to the world. You're born at this particular time. Then travay to reconnect. It's the same. Really, the same meaning. Okay. So we'll stop here. We finished the ice. Did we or not? Yeah. Okay. Be'ez Hashem will continue tomorrow.